Virginia Fuller. She is running for U.S. Senate in the great state of Florida, correct?
Yes.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
As a former candidate and a current candidate myself, I am so proud of you for putting your name on the ballot and stepping onto the field.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, what made you want to run for office?
You know, it's a long story, so I'm going to
give us a shorter version.
I'm going to try to give you a short version. You should know that I'm an immigrant.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
I immigrated from the Netherlands.
Oh, cool.
I am African American. For those that cannot see me,
Well, it's all. You're an American of was it Holland?
From Holland, yes. Yeah.
Descent?
Holland is the colloquial name.
Yeah, okay, right.
But I didn't used to like politics. I actually hated politics until I went in business for myself. I am a registered nurse by profession. And at the time I was working children's hospital rehab, working with children that were severely damaged physically and medically from car accident, near drowning, those kind of kids. And at times that they were ready, when the hospital was no longer able to make any positive changes in their future, they had to go to a step-down unit, a convalescent home. Well, there are no convalescent homes for children in general.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. And the reason why there are no convalescent homes is because besides taking care of the patient, as a child is also entitled to educational well-being. And there is no money in when you also have to comply with regulatory rules of meeting the standards of nursing and medical care, then you also have to be the education provider. So there is no money.
It's too complicated.
Exactly, it's too expensive. And big companies that go about the bottom line are not going to get involved in it. So I decided when I was raising two small toddlers, my husband and I decided, why don't I set up such a home and I can have more control over my time, raising my own kids and providing a needed service to my community.
Wow.
It was a bad decision.
It was a bad decision because there's too much regulation.
And in addition to the fact it was this plain racism.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
And you wouldn't expect that to happen in a region like liberal California.
Oh, this is California.
This was in California, where, the liberals, the Democrats want to do it all for the poor, the children, the disadvantaged, the blacks.
They want the government to control everything.
The government to control. But why do they want to do that?
To control everybody. That's the point.
so that they can keep us dependent.
Okay.
If we can remain dependent on them, they control us all the time.
Right.
And therefore, we will always vote for those who want to give out the freebies.
Right.
Take it from the rich and give it to us. And so too often, especially in the black community, is this generational cycle that we don't want to get up and be self-reliant and do things.
Well, most people do, but there's just such a system in place that it's like cement.
Exactly. And I agree with that. Because I experienced it. It ruined my family. It ruined my marriage. Because to have to work always against the system, and you go, and that brings me back. Why did I go into politics?
Yes, I'm just fascinated by your life. I'm like, what happened?
So all this time, I went to. My representative was Barbara Lee when she was an assemblywoman.
Yeah.
Then she went to Congress.
She'd been there for a while.
And George Miller.
Yeah.
I mean,
career politicians.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they all know about my story, and nobody cared to stick a finger, to lift a finger, to intervene. Dianne Feinstein was also one of my representatives. And so
they're all talk, no action.
Exactly. They didn't care because I was only one vote. And plus, on top of that, I wasn't voting because I wasn't into politics. So why? I pay my taxes.
I would argue it's we already have your vote, so why should we bother? That's
too.
really the attitude.
That's
Oh, black woman's gonna vote for us anyway, whatever.
yeah.
So that was California. So, but you're saying you're running in Florida.
Because 2 years ago, so when that happened, and I gave up the business, closed the doors, and now I had to be finding another job. My other job was to unseat my congressman. So
that was your job.
That was my job. So
That's awesome.
I ran 3 times against it. But this is liberal California.
This is in California.
So I didn't stand a shot.
But you got to put your name out there.
Yeah, and
You got to fight for your fight.
at least he debated me at least once.
Good for you.
Yeah. And
I love it.
I put out, and I exposed him really for all the lies that he's
You have
done.
to do that.
Yeah.
You have to, because that's the thing, right? Talking about challenging the system. Here we're in Maryland, so Maryland's just a little bit less liberal that California is. And people always say, what's the point? We're, conservatives, our state is rather liberal, if not very liberal. Why run? And I think, as you know, you don't have to be in office to be, productive or make change. But are there conversations that you're able to have as a candidate, as a federal candidate? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And not only that, you get to call them out. And they have to be on record as this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Tell me, what are you running for?
Oh, I'm running for Congress here in Maryland.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I want you to say that so your listeners know that you are running.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I ran 2 years ago in a different district in where I live, and now I'm running in the Baltimore area. And for me, I've been an activist for this whole time, and I really wasn't thinking about running for office this year. But as you know, 2018 is a huge year because if we don't survive this year electorally, then we probably won't survive as a country.
Yes.
And I have been encouraging more and more people to consider the Republican Party, conservatism, running for office themselves. And I felt it was really disingenuous for me not to be a part of the fight too. And so I took some time and, evaluated the different, districts, and also had to evaluate myself because running for office is brutal. And I didn't know if I wanted...
It's expensive.
Well, the finances are... I'm not concerned necessarily about the finances. It's really the sort of being a candidate, not a person. Mm-hmm. Some people kind of interact with you and you're like, hi, I'm there's a human being here.
Yeah.
And then not only that, it's like, you're as a layperson, as for example, an activist or a person in the media or a blogger, for example, what I say is what I say. It's like, oh yeah, I can be very free and, I can, take it on and speak up for what I want to believe in. And now I've transitioned over the last couple of weeks. Like, oh my gosh, it's like being a candidate now. It's like, I got to watch what I say. And
Yes.
what I say now is like totally on record. I mean, everything's out.
Yeah.
By the internet now, I mean, it's all out there. But I do believe that, as you probably feel, this country's awesome. American citizens are, I don't know. I'm a little biased, but we're the strongest citizens ever created. Yeah. And that I'm seeing people not only not care about that notion, but also they almost want to take that away.
Yeah. Destroy.
Destroy it. And I would love to hear your perspective and what you would like to be on record as saying is, when you talk about immigration, mm-hmm. that's one of the big things that has brought me into this race personally. What do you say to people now that you're a candidate, or even as a legal immigrant yourself? I want you to be open and say, like, what would you want the folks out there to know about your experience, your perspective, whatever?
I believe that every country has the right to rule as its people decide according to the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And I know of no other country where anyone can cross the border illegally, drop a child on American soil or on their soil, and proclaim citizenship and benefit for it as well.
For like 20 years.
Yes. I work, my specialty is postpartum. After I did the children's department for more than 20 years and when I went back to work, I had to crawl back into the workplace when I closed my business. So I kind of specialize now in postpartum. And I did a lot of work in Southern California. And it hurts me to say, I am a professional no matter who I take care of.
Right.
But it hurts me to see when almost 98% of all the babies born are from Hispanic origin.
Well, it's not necessarily, you're basically not necessarily Hispanic origin, but the fact that they basically came to the country only to give birth.
Well, not all of them. So I still stick with they're of Hispanic origin.
Okay, I just
You know, because some of them have been living here for a while too.
I didn't know if you.
Yes, some of them don't even have Social Security, and some of them don't speak English. But what angers me the most is two things. You and I, we will plan. We do family planning. You have as many kids as you want because you enjoy raising your children and you can afford it. I see no reason why the taxpayer should pick up the tab for a foreigner, not having a Social Security, not having insurance, coming in for the fourth and fifth time, not just to have another baby, but to have a C-section.
Oh, I understand.
Who is paying for all that?
And it's your labor that they're basically taking advantage of.
Right.
It's your work.
Right.
And you're not getting compensated at the level as you should.
But I'm getting paid for it because I'm doing a job.
Right.
But
I know that the Medicaid payback is less than. Right?
And I guess that's why the hospitals don't care because they have to make up by volume. But I see that as a long-term problem because this debt is being pushed off on the backs of the next generation.
Right.
So even though right now I have a job when I want to accept it because I work as a travel nurse, I take on contracts and if I don't like the hospital, I can move on with my next after 3 months and go to my next assignment. But there's something wrong here that there is no checks, no balance.
Basically, for me, I'm in Montgomery County, and the state of Maryland's trying to push sanctuary state on us. California's gone, right? And my concern is when is enough enough?
Exactly.
You know that your budget is breaking at the seams. People are moving out of places like Montgomery to actually they're moving to Florida. Actually, they're moving to Florida.
Same as California. People leaving California. And our fear is, and many Floridians feel the same thing. You're leaving your liberal state that you have ruined, and you bring your same liberal values
to our conservative state. Oh, I get it. That's messed up.
It is.
Yeah.
But I like to bring up something else that may be a solution that perhaps you can also use on your campaign.
This is about you. This is about you.
Well, this is about the country, and we have to share.
You're right.
I have looked into the fair tax.
Oh, right. I see your pin.
Yes.
Fair tax. Tell me about it, because I have a friend named Mark who's really big on pushing fair tax.
Well, the fair tax, what the fair tax proponents have done, and you should know there are already 2 bills in Congress and in the Senate. They just don't have enough sponsors to bring it forth for a vote. But what the proponents have done, they have hired expert economists to calculate how much the federal government takes in from the income taxes and employment taxes currently. And that percentage they have then incorporated in the price of new products. So therefore, they're going to do away with state income tax, not state income, federal income tax and employment taxes. And that will be calculated into the price of a new product, which right now is calculated to be 23%. So now you're not going to get...
so you're talking about, okay, so for this cell phone, for example, there's going to be a 23% on this cell phone?
Not on top of it. It's when you see the price, whatever the price is, $300, when you take it to the cash register, that businessman will send the federal government their 23%. You only pay $300 on that.
Okay.
And in the meantime, you no longer have to pay for Social Security, disability, or any of the other federal income taxes. You no longer have that because it's calculated in only the price of new product. So if you go to a garage sale, you don't have to pay any taxes on that either.
Interesting.
What does that do?
Yeah.
That pot of money that they can always have to dole out to their special interest group is no longer there.
Yeah.
And now you're going to control how much
The government is
will
willing
get.
to pay, yeah.
Because if you want to keep your money and save it and not spend it, you don't pay any taxes on that. Obviously, you want to still continue to live a comfortable life. You still have to buy.
Need to buy things.
Exactly. And this way, the black market, where people they deal in drugs or prostitution, now everything they buy is also taxed. So now we have more taxpayers.
Oh, that's
right?
awesome.
Because it's included in that.
That's a way to fix it.
It's included in that
Lady needs
Jaguar
shoes. New shoes.
Yeah.
New tights.
And designer wear or a Bentley. Those people that spend all that money, they're
Awesome.
going to be paying. They're going to be adding to the tax base.
Great.
So the government is not losing, but what do we win? The fact that now they cannot create special interest groups, and therefore their power diminishes.
Okay, nice.
Right?
Gotcha.
If you no longer have
I didn't get that connection before.
That's how I saw it when I listened carefully. I've purchased an audio tape. It's 5 CDs. I listened to each tape 2 times just so that it could sink in.
Yeah.
And I
That's
said,
good. No, definitely. I know that my friend has always, talked about it, and no offense, but you've explained it a lot better than he did. Sorry. No offense.
And if you have a moment, downstairs is a table for the fair tax.
Okay, so I
They
get to
have
learn.
lots of brochures, stickers,
Yes.
and they have 2 radio personalities
Oh,
there.
good.
They will grant you an interview as
Oh,
well.
thank you. I appreciate that
You're
intel, man.
welcome.
Man, she's just hooking me up, man. Here I am trying to interview her. But lastly, I know that your time is precious, but I do want to, people always do this when you're a candidate, right? If you could have 2 minutes to talk to the voters in Florida to why they should vote for Virginia, what would you like your voters to know?
I want them to know that I am a very open and honest person. I have no other agenda except to make America great again. I believe in honesty. I have integrity, and my word is you can always count on me. I always follow through with my promises. I really, which is probably a reason why I suffered so much. I had made a commitment to run these homes, even though we were losing money, and I was not, for 10 years, I ran it as a nonprofit and not taking a salary, because I couldn't see, why wouldn't it succeed? I have politicians, legislators who believe in doing for the downtrodden and the vulnerable children. Why didn't they come to my aid? I couldn't believe that. So I ran myself into the ground. But to answer your question, if you vote for Virginia, you know you will have somebody you can count on, and you're voting not only for your future, but for the future of your children and grandchildren.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck. And I am so proud of you.
I am just as proud of you.
When's your primary?
August.
Oh, you've got 2 more months than I do. Awesome.
When is yours?
June 26th.
Well, good luck to
So
you.
17 more weeks with the time of taping.
Good luck to you. Much, much, much success.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.